Senator Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here. General, thank you for being here. You both have a really, really critical job. I think one of the most important jobs in government. I think you're doing a great job, and I'm going to get to that on some of the things you've been doing in Alaska. I do want to remind you of the context. You've seen this chart before. This was the 70 executive orders that the Biden administration issued, singularly, exclusively focused on Alaska, what we called the last frontier lockup. You look at, we have the actual list of them, the 7-0, right there. Those are executive orders and executive actions. No state got sanctioned more by their own federal government than we did in Alaska by the Biden administration. I like to do this in public a lot because those days are over, right? We have a new EO. That was the Alaska lockup. This is the Alaska comeback. And you're very familiar with this executive order. This is day one. The Trump administration issued an executive order called Unleashing Alaska's Extraordinary Resource Potential. We're the only state in the country that has our own EO. It was issued on the day of the president's inauguration. And the Corps of Engineers, as you know, Secretary Tell, is highlighted in that EO in a really big way. The part on the Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works, now I'm reading the EO, shall immediately review, revise, rescind any agency action that may in any way hinder, slow, or otherwise delay any critical project in Alaska. And during your confirmation hearing, you remember what you said to me about that executive order in that paragraph in particular?
Senator Sullivan, I indicated to you that I had tattooed that paragraph of that executive order on my heart.
Yes, because you tattooed that on your heart. I have to admit that was one of the best answers I've heard in a confirmation hearing in a long time. And you are doing that. So I very much appreciate that. Let me compliment you on the really important work that you did when we had another glacial lake outburst flood in Juno, Alaska. Actually, this was the worst, but it wasn't as bad because the Corps of Engineers had acted quickly at my request this past spring on getting those HESCO barriers to help prevent flooding. But you also surged Brigadier General Getz to Alaska for a whole week and his team. They gave Juno a lot of comfort. We got a lot of work to do, but can I get your commitment and, General, your commitment that we're not just going to study this. The people of Juno are having flooding every summer. And by the way, last summer and this summer, it's amazing nobody's gotten killed. But we need to get on this soon. Can I get your commitment and any other updates you want to give me on that? But I appreciate you surging a high-level team for a week in Alaska to be in Juno when this happened again. We need a Corps of Engineers solution to this, and I appreciate your focus on it.
Senator Sullivan, thank you for emphasizing the importance of this challenge. Your leadership helped guide our decision-making. And I've committed to you. Let me also say I'm just so proud of the United States Army Corps of Engineers, General Getz, his team, the Alaska District for the work that they did in real time to save lives and property in Juneau, Alaska in mid-August. And I've committed to you, and General Graham has committed to me, that we are going to be focused on a long, medium, and short-term solution to address this challenge. The short-term solution is what you saw in August, and you're going to see it again as long as we need it while we're developing the medium and long-term solutions. And I will let General Graham comment on the progress on the medium and longer-term solutions.
Senator Sullivan, this is what we're built for. And being able to take a complex situation and work with our state and local partners to put a project in place rapidly. As you saw with General Getz up there, that's what we're committed to. So I know there's a smaller outburst happening kind of as we speak. Yep. And we're working again with the city on, I think they held off on repairing some of the existing HESCO barriers until this finishes. The technical report that will lay the foundation for a long-term fix, we expect that next spring. And we'll watch that closely as that work unfolds. And that work that we're doing is going to be with all the partners who, across the government at all levels, has the ability to add to this solution. That's our commitment to you.
Great. I appreciate that. I know the people at Juno really appreciate that, and it's so important. Madam Chair, can I, do I have opportunities?
Let me ask you a question. Have you voted on this?
I'm going to vote right after this one.
Okay, okay.
Very quickly, just two more quick questions. Relating to this EO, I met with a company that's working on a really exciting project in Alaska. It's called Graphite One outside of Nome. But they are concerned that even though they were put on the docket, it's a graphite mine, one of the largest mine deposits in the world in Alaska, that they were put on Fast 41 as an EA, and we are hearing that the Alaska District is maybe putting them on as an EIS. Can you gentlemen take a look at that? That seems to go against the Trump executive order and maybe even more importantly, Sackett versus EPA, the recent Supreme Court case.
Senator, absolutely. This is something that we take very seriously, and I will just report to you that we have guidance in place now to implement Sackett on a temporary basis while we wait for a permanent rule to implement that Supreme Court decision. But I'll also tell you that through nationwide permits, which this committee has afforded the United States Army Corps of Engineers regional permits and good old-fashioned elbow grease, President Trump has delivered more than close to 800 permits for energy-related and resource-related activities, including approximately 10% of those in the state of Alaska in the first 9 months of his administration.
Thank you. Final question, very quick. Port of Nome. And I always put this chart up as well. A lot of action in Alaska. We have Russian and Chinese incursions into our airspace, Russian and Chinese incursions into our waters, 4 incursions just in August. And the Port of Nome is going to be critical for Alaska economic activity, but also for infrastructure for national security assets. The Corps awarded a nearly $400 million contract for Phase 1 of the Port of Nome expansion. This is a crucial step to establishing our infrastructure in the Arctic for our economy, but also for our national security. Can I get your commitment, gentlemen, to continue on beyond Phase 1, which is a huge phase? We're building the Port of Nome. We've been trying to get this done for 15 to 20 years. We're building it. Thanks to your leadership. $400 million contract awarded on Phase 1. But to continue that as a key issue for the Corps going forward, even beyond Phase 1. General, Mr. Secretary, can I get your commitment on that?
Senator, you absolutely have our commitment. We're also looking for more sources of rock up in Alaska that can bring the construction costs down, but you absolutely have our commitment to the Port of Nome.
Great.
Yes, sir, Senator, of course.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.